something. October 26th. I decided to make another Van Halen video. I got my Van Halen flag, my Eddie Van Halen shirt on, and today I'm going to be going over some guitar parts, my favorite riffs and pieces within songs of Eddie Van Halen. Excerpts of like when I'm talking about the song pieces, probably like 4 seconds or so or less. I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything. So the first album, Eruption, with Eruption, it was just an amazing piece. I've seen Eruption played a couple different ways. I really love it, and what I really love about it is it's just it flies and it floats. It's hard to really to describe. It was just such an amazing piece for, especially back at that time. Spanish Fly is an incredible acoustic piece. You know, it just shows that he could play acoustic guitar too. Of course, you play acoustic guitar, you can play electric guitar, but he just wanted to have a different sound, and acoustic guitar had a different sound, and it was just such a beautiful, amazing piece. So what he did with Spanish Fly, it's awesome. Just like with okay, Light Up the Sky. Light Up the Sky was incredible. That chromatic, it was a chromatic climb. Even though he was going down the neck this way, it's actually going up because he's going up the notes. But that full step little thing there that he did, I might throw a piece of that in here. Just tell you what I'm talking about. Most of you know what the heck it is anyways. Most of you know Light Up the Sky, whoever's watching this. Maybe some people don't. Light Up the Sky was incredible. I like those parts. I like that riff. It was just such a fast, really cool, epic, chromatic climb, and it was fast, and it was just a hard piece. It's awesome. I love. Okay, Women and Children First, in the Incredible Rock. What I love about an Incredible Rock is that there's that one part where he's tremolo picking on that one note, and it's just like the back root note of the song. You could of course tell it's overdubbed, but just that tremolo picking of that. I wanted to learn that piece and find that note and go over that. It's such an awesome piece. An Incredible Rock and Tora Tora and everything off Women and Children First was just such an awesome album. Some is a really cool, interesting piece. They showed the humor side within the midsection there. I love that whole midsection, and the part that I always questioned was like when you're listening to it and he hits that hits that chord twice. David Roth goes, I like, and then he stops, and like you can kind of tell, like as if he's looking at him, like oops, and waits, and then says, I like the way the line runs up the back of the stocking. I have always liked those kind of high heels too. That whole section part, you know, it's funny and interesting. So I'm curious to know if they, and nobody's ever asked them this, did they plan that out and map that out, or was that just kind of a accidental thing they're fooling around? Or was it Eddie's track that he's singing to and then said the part first and was like, alright, let's keep it in here? You know, those little funny quirky things that David Roth said and did in between the songs, and of course mixed in with Eddie's guitar, you know, the squeals, tapping, the little sound effects, the scraping of the strings, and just all that stuff that he did. All those little nuances made Van Halen. I know people say David Roth made Van Halen, and then Michael Anthony's background vocals made Van Halen. It was just a combination of everything. And Eddie Van Halen's guitar sounds and everything, or those little things, is what made people like, hey, that's neat. Yeah, that's really cool off this, you know. Lost Control. Lost Control is an interesting one. It starts off with them, you know, like fooling around the studio, and then it breaks into this like really fast paced riff and song. You know, it's just got this wicked groove to it. It's a really awesome song. Unchained. Not that anything else, that there's no other specific rips off of Fair Warning. Fair Warning is good, but Unchained is just a really cool, powerful rhythm to it. Just the sound of it and just the way he's playing. It's a really cool song. I could play it slightly. But it's an awesome song. It's a wicked opening. They opened that with that song in 2012 when I saw them. Intruder is just such an awesome piece. It has this, you know, it has a sound to it. And it's like he's fooling around with the guitar. Something he probably like did in the studio, fooling around. And like, hey, I like that sound. This is a really cool piece. I'm going to use it for an intro. And used it for the intro for Pretty Woman. It's a really cool piece, especially that slide part, and it's that epic climatic, you know, explosions. You know, I'll put a piece of that in there. Alright, so that piece right there, back in '93 when I was like listening to Van Halen, I went on a Van Halen kick. And I'm listening to that, and I'm picturing that poster. I saw that poster somewhere. The poster was available. I never had the poster, but I pictured that right during that part. I was like, yeah, you know what? That's really neat. So there's a piece of something I was thinking of years ago. It's an awesome one. When I saw the cover for Diver Down, I was like, what's the deal with this? It's just red with a big white stripe down the middle of it. I didn't know what the heck it was. It wasn't until years later I find out it's actually for divers when they go under the water. But I'm talking about Eddie Van Halen's riffs here, and I don't want to make this video too large. Has such an awesome sound to it, and then, you know, such another cool, great piece. Especially the intro. It's almost like a Spanish Fly Part 2 or something. Kind of, I guess. You know, it's an acoustic piece, and it's just incredible musically, and it sings to you, you know, his music sings to you, and all these other little tricks and little things that he did. It was what made the song special. There was always that one part in the song that you look forward to hearing, and like, oh yeah, here's this really cool part. I love this part. That's on 1984 album. Like I said before, it's a very commercial album, but it was very guitar riff oriented album. It was an amazing album. And, yeah, Jump and Panama, the solos in those songs. The keyboard solo in Jump, where he's doing that, just mixes in beautifully. It was just such an awesome piece, the keyboard solo to that. And then with Panama, that whole guitar solo, and just the way the song worked out, it was just an incredible song. Panama drums, it's another cool rocking song. It's a fast-paced rocking song, if you will, I guess. And of course, Top Jimmy is another one. It's just, see, there's those other songs that are on the album that are like rocking, that are fast and awesome and everything. 5150 has got to be one of the coolest, greatest openings out there. I mean, it's an awesome one. It's really difficult. It sounds difficult, and it is. My guitar teacher showed it to me back in 1990. And live without a net one time. And then when I discovered, one time like in 92 or so, I'm watching Live Without a Net again on VHS tape, and I noticed, hey, that's 316. Yeah. And stuff like that. So, I was reading an interview with Eddie Van Halen, and he's talking about how, no, that car horn thing in the beginning, before Running with the Devil, was the ending of the other first song. And that's all he said. So, okay. There was a song that they did on the demo, and that song before Running with the Devil, ended like that. So you're like, alright, well, what song was that? You know what song it was? Well, what song was it? It was House of Pain. So I didn't discover that until like years later. Probably like back 2012, 2013. But that's just a little tidbit there for some of you who don't know. But yeah, House of Pain was recorded off 1984. Was actually being recorded in 76, 77. So that's kind of an interesting fact. He did that with a few more songs that were set back in 2012 after A Different Kind of Truth came out. And I was like, hey, this is Blood and Fire. Through Blood and Fire. So I thought that was interesting. He used the Ripley and incorporated it into the thing. I'm the Woman is one of the most other famous ones of the Van Halen, you know, older songs. A lot of people know this one. I'm the Woman is a really older song too. That was on their demos. And then they reworked that and brought that back and put that on a different kind of truth. Kind of cool and neat, you know. I mean, you figured there was like another song called Get the Show on the Road, which is part of Romeo's Delight off of Fair Warning. Okay, so one of my favorite Eddie Van Halen moments, and of course it was through a bad situation because that whole 1996, you know, half-hour reunion or two or 3 day reunion with Roth that happened. That was a bad situation. I was irritated with that, but I was trying to keep up on it and seeing what was happening. So I watched MTV News, and You Better Be Wearing a Cup was one of the funniest Eddie Van Halen moments. I'll put a snippet of that in there.
If you ever speak to me like that again, you better be wearing a cup.
Funny if that was actually filmed. But it's too bad it didn't work out. It took years. Look, here's my point. And I've said it before online. If Dave Lee Roth and or the Van Halen brothers, whoever was at fault here specifically, if they were smart, they would have made it work. They would have come out with an album in 98, 99 at least. And then of course, then in 2003 or 4, then maybe 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, they would have did 3 or 4 albums with David Roth if they jumped on it right there and got back into the studio and just did songs and all that other stuff. They could have did a lot more, but that's hindsight now. But it's too bad it didn't work. Van Halen's great. Here's a little piece I did. I'm going to leave this with the outro. This outro piece I created. Enjoy it. See ya. Thanks. Comment in the comment section.